Hi, my name is Andreas ÖBERG. Welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the concert footage with my quartet. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Stockholm, Sweden in 1978, and my parents introduced me to a lot of music. I listened to classical and pop and rock when I was a little kid, and I started to play guitar when I was 7, classical fingerstyle acoustic guitar. And at that time I played a lot of tennis, so tennis was my main thing, but I love music too, and I played whenever I had the chance to. And when I was 13, my guitar teacher introduced me to jazz and fusion, mostly fusion, jazz, rock music, and I listened to Lee Ritenour, Larry Carlton, Mike Stern, Frank Gambale, Scott Henderson, Alan Holdsworth. Yeah, a lot of those players, and I liked it a lot. And when I was 15 or 16, I started my studies at a local music school in Stockholm, like a high school for music students called Stella Latin. And there I got the chance to meet a lot of young musicians who shared the same passion for music as myself, and I had a lot of fun and learned a lot of things. And at that time I really got into early jazz music and bebop and mainstream jazz, hard bop from the 50s and 60s, and discovered guitar players like George Benson, Wes Montgomery, Joe Pass, and some modern players, John Scofield, Pat Metheny, Billy Lagran. And I stayed there for 3 years and learned a great deal from that experience. At that time I had been listening a lot to Swedish guitar players, Ulf Akenius and Max Schultz, and when I was 17 I got the chance to substitute for Max Schultz. He had a lot of gigs at that time, and I got the chance to play with a few of the best jazz musicians in Sweden, both contemporary jazz and mainstream jazz. When I was 18, I attended the Royal Music Academy in Stockholm, and stayed there for 4 years, studying guitar in general, jazz guitar of course, arranging music for big band, conducting orchestras, a lot of things, and a lot of useful things. And I had a guitar teacher at the time called Paul Persson, who came from Berklee College of Music back to Stockholm, and he had a lot of new ideas, and he was into modern jazz, and I got a lot of tools and devices that's been really useful for my playing. And during this time I continued to play around Stockholm, basically with a lot of bands and a lot of young musicians. And During my 3rd year at the Royal Music Academy, I started to really focus on the music of Django Reinhardt. And I bought an old guitar, a Selmer style guitar that Django used, a similar one from the 30s, and I started to discover this wonderful style of music. After a few months struggling with my new Django guitar, I met Robin Nolan from England, currently living in Amsterdam, Holland, and he encouraged me and told me that I had some talent for this music, and I started to focus on gypsy jazz. Then after a few months of practicing, I got the chance to meet Jimmy Rosenberg and record and tour with him in Norway and Sweden. And this was one of the highlights in my career so far. I learned a great deal from him. He's a great player, and he taught me a lot of the secrets of the gypsy guitar style, with the rest stroke technique, the gypsy picking, all of those things. That's hard. That's really hard to pick up on your own if you're just staying home listening to a record with Django or something. The last couple of years I've been playing this gypsy style music quite a lot, both with the Hot Club of Sweden and with gypsy musicians and musicians all over the world. I made my first solo album in 2003. It was called ANDREAS ÖBERG Invites Georgi Lefleur and Rittari Gaginetti, two great gypsy guitar players from France. My next solo album was called Young Jazz Guitarist. It was released in 2005, recorded in October 2004 in Stockholm. I put together a jazz quartet. I returned to my roots, the roots of jazz guitar, and I put together a quartet with a few friends, Robert Ikiz on the drums, Jörgen SMEBY on the double bass. Great musicians from Stockholm. And when I was in Pori, Finland, at a big jazz festival, I met Marian PETRESCU, a fantastic piano player. One of the best musicians I've come across so far in my career. And I heard him play, and we played together at that festival, and I was just amazed. And I thought I had to invite this guy to Sweden. And then I found out he used to live in Sweden when he was a little kid. So I think he's still a Swedish citizen, although he's originally from Romania and he's living in Finland. But I brought him here for the recording, and yeah, it was just like I was hoping that it would turn out good, because I knew Jörgen and Robert, but we hadn't played together that much, and Marian didn't know any of the other guys except me, so I just rented a studio, put these guys together, and we counted in a few songs, and then we just recorded it, and it turned out fantastic. I think I was really proud of that recording and that CD. And I wrote some new songs for that project. I wrote a few songs based on old standards with new, fresh melodies, and some beautiful ballads and bossa novas. And I'm really proud of that project, and we continue to tour with this group, this quartet, and it's the same lineup as you can hear and see on this DVD. We've been touring all over Sweden and Europe with this group. I've been to United States a few times playing, but then it's mostly been gypsy jazz so far. But I hope to come across the Atlantic with this band in the future as well. Marian's style is just amazing. He's a mix of Oscar Peterson, Art Tatum, and some modern jazz piano players like Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock. He's got it all, and it's a pleasure to play with him. Yeah, what about my latest CD? It's called Solo in English, Solo in Swedish. It's just plain solo guitar. I just went into the studio and pushed the record button and just played some acoustic guitar, some electric, some fingerstyle arrangements for guitar, some harmonics, slap tapping technique for guitar. I tried to expand the possibilities, see what you can do on just a plain guitar without any effects and without the overdubs or editing. And I've been listening to Martin Taylor, Billy Lagrène, Tuck Andrews, Sylvan Luke, a lot of these good solo guitar players, and I tried to combine these influences into and mix it with my own style and make it something new, hopefully. And currently I'm writing a lot of modern jazz for my next project. I think it's gonna be more, not as bebop oriented as my previous stuff, and not that much gypsy jazz. It will be more modern jazz music, but we'll see what will happen. So keep your eyes and ears open, and I hope to see you on the road. Thank you.
Thank you.